guys, this is Tina. Welcome back to my channel. So I thought I would just come on quickly and have a quick play around with some pieces that I've got here. These are my pieces from my collage pages, which the collage pages now, the digi version, are obviously for sale in my shop. And then I was left with obviously the copy size piece of collage page, which had just been sat around and you know, kind of I'd just not been using it really. So I have obviously cut the pages up now into little pieces, which I've broken into tags and some little kind of pocket size pieces and various different things that I thought then, you know, could be altered and worked with to create some fun little bits and pieces. So I'm just piling them up at the moment into kind of colour schemes really. Okay, so yeah, I've got those different coloured pieces going on here. I'm going to just move them to one side. Now I've made, obviously, as I say, some into tags and, you know, some into more like just pockets or tuck spots. And I've backed them onto, if they're pockets or tuck spots, just onto, you know, scraps of paper. Obviously, if they're tags, I've backed them onto card so that they are suitable for journaling on. And then what I've done, I wanted to share this gorgeous book with you. I managed to pick this up recently at a second-hand bookshop, and this bookshop, it's not the bookshop that I've done a video of. This is another one that's kind of in the opposite direction to the other bookshop that was in Arundel. But it's, I mean, it's not the biggest bookshop, but it's an Aladdin's cave in there certainly, and you could just spend hours and hours looking in there. But on the whole, the books are pretty expensive, but I managed to get this for the bargain price of £1, which I couldn't believe. Now, obviously there's some writing up here. It was gifted to someone as a Christmas present, 1952. So I'm assuming that that was when the book was published. I can't see any kind of date on the book, but I couldn't believe it was only £1, because the reason obviously I loved it was, look at the size of the images. They are just perfect for projects, absolutely perfect. I mean, it's got some scribble on it. I think the scribble is mainly in pencil when I flicked through, so I mean, it could always be rubbed out. Personally, I'm not worried, because when I'm using the images, I will probably just tear around the images anyway, in which case that scribble, it's not even going to be visible. You know, so yeah, if you wanted to have a look online or anything and see if you could get this book, it's called The My Who's Who of Pets and Animal Friends. So it's containing over 160 pictures in full colour. I can't see. Juvenile Productions Limited, it says there. Anyway, I just thought it was such a lovely find, and you know, when I got home, I'd already stitched these a few weeks ago, and I just thought, oh, some of those images are going to look awesome on those tags and those pieces. So that's what I've got that book for. I've also got some more of my lovely cute toadstool and mushroom pictures that I've got from another book, which I think that book is just called Mushrooms. I think I've shown that book before, but it, you know, I'm not 100% sure, but it's, anyway, it's just a smallish book, as you can see. So, and it's full of obviously all these really awesome looking pictures. So again, I just wondered whether those pictures might look really nice on the tags. So excuse my hand, I've now got ink on there from my last thing that I was working on. So yeah, I mean, it's called The Book of Pets. I'm not sure that anybody has a panda or a sea lion or a sea, well, I guess people do have seahorses actually, don't they? But yeah, I don't know of anyone with a panda, and I don't know of anyone with a sea lion. So it's general animals, I would say, really, more than just pets. But Aren't they just such cute images? I'm just going to stand up and make sure that I actually am in frame, because I would hate for you to not really be able to see the book in its entirety. Let me zoom out a bit. Just gorgeous, aren't they? Oh, look at that lovely page on the back. I mean, obviously that's not a small image to be using in your work, but it definitely has got a lot of images to use. So I might just start here on this back page. I'm going to tear it up, and to be perfectly honest, this is the type of book that I could very easily get quite attached to and end up hoarding and never wanting to tear it up. So it's kind of better that I just get straight on and tear it up now before that actually happens. So obviously this one is really great because the pictures on the opposite side are text, if you see what I mean, where a lot of them, unfortunately, they are pictures and pictures, if that makes sense. So I always feel very, conflicted then, which picture shall I use? So it's much nicer when you've got pictures and text on the back. So I'm going to pop this out of the way now quickly, and then I will just bring in a couple of tags. Obviously I've got these tiny ones as well, which are, probably really a bit too small, but we'll have a look and see what we can do. So we've got this gorgeous image here of this wren, which isn't that just so cute? So I'm just going to tear around it. I'm not trying to really fussy tear it as such. I'm just trying to make it quite small. So I'm not, by fussy tearing I mean I'm not trying to outline the shape of the image as such, but I just wanted the image to be torn to quite a small size, if that makes sense. I mean, that is just so cute, isn't it? Just on there, just like that. Also love this yellow bird. This is called a wax bill. So I'm just going to, again, tear that down. And again, not overly fussy tearing as such, but just trying to keep it close-ish to the images in order to keep it small enough to fit onto the tag, really. Okay, just move that out of the way. So as you can see, sorry, I also forgot to say, on some of the collage pages, I actually stitched around some of the actual collage shaped pieces of paper. So I just want to quickly point that out. I didn't do it on all of them. I just randomly did it on some. I mean, as you can see, these haven't got any stitching whatsoever. But just on one or two, I just thought it was quite nice to break it up. And obviously I've used black thread here. And on these, I've just used white thread. So I just wanted to mix this up and have a couple of different looks, really. So just check which one I want on which tag. I love this wren. That's probably my favourite, to be honest. The wren just looks awesome on both. This one I'm not so sure about, funny enough. Let me just see what else I had on here. Got this one, the water hen, this is. So let's just tear that out, just in case that one might look actually better. Yeah, if ever I find a book that I really love, I'm actually better off just coming straight home and tearing it within a few days, because if I don't, what happens is I then get horribly attached to the, I'm going to do this woodchuck as well because isn't that sweet. I then get horribly attached to the book, and before I know it, I'm hoarding it, and there's a chance it will never ever get used. So kind of helpful for me to just get straight on and use it, straight away, really. Right, let's have a look. Right, I quite like those two. So let's move that out of the way. I've got some doily here. This has been coffee dyed. So I'm just going to tear that. And obviously, as you can see, I mean, I don't use a template or anything like that for my tags. I just cut them, you know, to whatever size I fancy, really. So these, obviously, they're quite large tags. I personally quite like large tags, but obviously I realise they're perhaps not everybody's cup of tea. Okay, I mean, it sounds really strange. I don't overly want to cover up the collage itself, because I think it's actually really rather nice, but obviously I'm aware that I have to cover some of it, so just glue that down. Okay. Yeah, it was such an Aladdin's Cave. It's just got the most lovely books. I've only been in there twice. Well, once really, and it was my second time the other day when I picked up this book. And it's just run by this little old man, and it's so funny because the shop is so full. And I noticed that there's this little doorway going presumably to what is like the back of the shop. And it had the tiniest slither on the planet, you know, which presumably this old man who, you know, I assume just owns the shop or whatever, he must have to squash himself through to get out the back. And I mean, I'm not saying he was big or anything, he was just normal size. But it did make me chuckle, because I just thought, wow, how's he going to get through there? Let's hope he doesn't have to, you know, get in there in a hurry, because he would have to kind of move some piles of books probably to the side and squash himself through. But oh, such a lovely Aladdin's Cave. And obviously I was with my husband and the kids, because it was at the weekend, so I was in there quite a while, maybe like 20 minutes or something, and they were waiting in the car around the corner, but they were like eating their sandwiches and things, so it wasn't too bad. And then obviously they finished their sandwiches, so then my husband and my daughter sort of came on the hunt for me. Where was I? So I had to cut my visit short. So what I really need to do is go there, you know, on a day without the rest of them, so that I can really take my time and have a thorough look around. Because wow, I could just spend ages in there. I mean, as I say, most of the books were actually pretty expensive. I mean, by that I mean like £4 each and upwards, which, you know, that doesn't sound terrible, but obviously if you then want to buy a few, it's pretty quickly kind of, you know, mounting up, isn't it? I bought 3 books, this and then 2 others, which I will try and show another time. But obviously then it was only £3, because I managed to get 3 for, you know, that were £1 each. Right, now hopefully I've done this little video with the little book page words. So this is obviously an example of where you could use your words. So I'm just having a look through. Can't really remember what words I actually kind of did, but I've put them all just in a little jar there, just ready for using. Got that 70s word there, terrific. I really don't know why I've got this thing about it being a 70s word, but for some reason I just can't stop thinking of it that way now. So I've got that one, nurture, and that one, affection. Is affection a bit strange beside that bird? Maybe it's a bit strange. Let's have a look. What else have I got? Nurturing. Now this is the one that I cut with the scissors, and it's just surprising how much more I like the ones with the torn edges. I mean, they're much more my type of thing, I think. So there we go. So I'm just going to pop these words all back into the jar, because I'm trying to be a bit tidier. At this point, because I'm filming ahead, I don't know whether I've actually shown my desk or not. I've certainly filmed it. But obviously, if I have shown it, you will understand why I'm trying now to make a conscious effort to be a lot tidier. There we go. Just pop that word down there. Oh, that's so cute, isn't it? Oh, I just love it. So those words, they make a really easy job of things. You know, although it seemed probably a pointless task perhaps when I was doing it, but having them there ready to go is pretty handy, to be honest, because that's just finished those tags off just perfectly. Now I'm just wondering how to actually have my tag at the top. Do I want like a bow, or do I want some lace? So I'm just going to punch a hole, and obviously I just eyeball that roughly in the middle. Then I've got my hole reinforcers here, like ready inked. So I just pop some glue around on that edge and just pop that down there. That's one. And another one. Oops, come on. Oh, I've dropped it now and it's stuck on the paper. There we go. So again, just go around the hole. That one's very brown, isn't it? Oh well, never mind, it's fine. So I might just ink up now. I haven't actually inked these tags, but I might just ink up, not too much, but just actually around the edge here, like that. So not all over, which I do normally, or most of the time I ink all over, but I'm just going to go around the edge there, so it's just got an aged appearance around the edge. And I'll just do the same with this one. So, you know, it's still got that nice bright sort of colour, but just a bit of an aged edge there. Okay. Oh, they are so cute, aren't they? And then let's have a look. Just having a rummage through my little bag of laces and things. Actually, I've got this blue. Isn't that pretty? Right, okay. So I'm just going to thread that through. Oh gosh. Again, this is where just doing things on camera is never really great, is it? And I'm going to just try and tie a bow on here. And I mean, again, you know, you may need to then play around with your bow for a bit to get it like the right shape and size that you want, like that. Oops. I mean, I always find them a little bit fiddly, but I do like the look of a bow on a tag. I think it somehow looks like a gift. I always find. So sorry, I've got those decorative scissors there loitering about, so just cut that down there and cut that one there. How cute is that? And then I'm just going to take my fabric glue and just squeeze a bit there, just into the ribbon, which hopefully will just hold it from, you know, the bow coming undone. So I'm not actually sure whether that's even coming out, so hold on. Couldn't actually see whether... I must apologise, for some reason my iPad has flicked off again, so I think I just like finished doing the bow up here, and then I just, if you missed it, popped some Fabri-Tac literally like here in the creases of the bow, so it just holds the bow in a bow format. And then I've got some soft net here as the tab for this one. So I do apologise for that. I'm not quite sure why that even happened. Yeah, whether or not it was trying to do updates, I'm not really too sure. But aren't they so cute? They just look really, really, really adorable, don't they? So obviously I have a lot more things there left to do. I think what I'll have to do is call it quits for this video, because I've just got this horrible feeling it's going to flick off again. And I'm going to just check the space situation and things like that. So hopefully all being well, we can come back another time and do some of the other bits. So thanks very much for joining me, and see you all again soon. Thanks, Em. Bye.